Mr. Graham, take a look at the camera and do whatever you'd like to do to the camera. That's good.
Good?
Okay, so Mr. Graham, if you could just...
Is my hair good? You good.
Okay, so just...
Cameron, my name is Jason Graham. I'm the principal at Callaway High School. So my family moved to Troup County when I was 5 years old. Went to school at Long Cane Elementary, Lee's Crossing Middle School, and then went up to Troup High. Graduated from Troup High in 2000. Met my wife there, married my high school sweetheart. After high school, went on to go to LaGrange College, earned a degree in middle grades education. Got started teaching in a middle school classroom at Long Cane Middle School. I did that for 10 years, and those were a great 10 years at Long Cane. I was fully invested in that school, poured myself into everything I did there. I coached just about every sport, and really went from that beginner teacher, really trying to figure things out with the help of some great mentors at Long Cane, into becoming a team leader, a content leader, and then after that 10-year run, had the opportunity to move up to the high school to be an assistant principal. So went over to Troup High and was there for 4 years, and then after that went to Hollis Hand Elementary to become principal, and was there for 2 years. Of course, in the first year, that spring is when COVID hit, and so nobody had ever experienced that. And so we went through some challenges together. Loved that faculty, loved those students very much. And then in year number 2, I saw the opportunity here at Callaway High School. There was something drawing me to that, and most of my experience had been with middle school and high school students. And so I knew at some point I wanted to get back to the secondary level and work with high school students. So for a lot of reasons, a lot of obvious reasons, Callaway High School made sense for me, so I went after it, and here I am.
Okay, that's nice, that's nice. And you know, that spring, COVID did hit all of us in a very impactful way. You mentioned that you coached a lot of sports at Long Cane.
Right.
Which sport did you enjoy coaching the most?
So I should note that the very first sport that I coached was baseball at the high school level. And that's part of what drew me into becoming an educator and a teacher. I knew that I wanted to coach. When I graduated high school, I had the opportunity to coach with Ernest Ward in the rec department. And he had been one of my coaches in high school, and he asked me to help him. I was honored and jumped right into that and loved the experience. And so coming out of high school, everybody's got to figure out, where am I going with my life?
That's right.
You know, I knew personally for me, I believe we all have a purpose. We're called to do something, and I knew I wanted to serve and make an impact for others. And so everything lined up, that coaching experience, and then I was blessed to have the opportunity to go coach baseball, which is the sport that I played growing up and loved the most at the high school level at Troup High. And from that experience, I wound up loving coaching, all aspects of coaching. At the middle school, started with football. I was an assistant football coach, and that was a great experience. Then I coached cross country, which I think is one of my most favorite coaching experiences. That was something where there was a need to have a cross country coach. And so I took over the program, and we went from probably about 8 to 10 kids, you know, on the team, to 47, I think, within just a couple of years. And I had a blast with that sport.
And I bet it was even more fun to watch it grow from, you said 8 to 10 to 40 some kids. I bet it was even more fun to just watch that in spirit.
Absolutely. So the students that were part of that cross-country team, a lot of those students may not have participated or had any experience outside of cross-country had I not pursued that and kind of built that program up. And I still keep up with those kids today, and a lot of those are doing great things and being successful.
So what are some of your hobbies?
Well, I will tell you this, as a high school principal, it's kind of hard to fit things in, but I try really hard to juggle. And one of my greatest passions is coaching still. It always has been. So I've got 3 kids, and they're athletic and they play sports. And so, I spend my time outside of all of my duties as principal trying to still manage being actively involved in coaching my kids. And so that's between Callaway High and coaching my kids, there's not a whole lot of time for other activities. But I will tell you, I was very hardcore into working out and lifting at the gym for a long stretch. I'd say for my 20s and up to mid-30s. Before I became an administrator, my hobby was the gym. Really enjoyed that. Used to run 5K races as a competitor, just trying to compete and have something to kind of have a goal and work towards, and so that's something I enjoyed doing.
All right, that's good. So to get back on a more serious note, we've had a lot of fun talking about sports and stuff, how you got into school. Who is your biggest inspiration?
Biggest inspiration? I've been blessed to have a lot of great mentors, and that's something really important, for somebody to be successful, to have people that can kind of mentor you and help you along the way. I've got to reference my mom and how much of an impact she made on me as a kid, as a young adult, and even as an adult now. My mom did so much when I was little to encourage and instill a belief that I could achieve whatever goals I set. And I will tell you, and I've shared this story before, I can vividly remember being a kid sitting at the kitchen table, and my mom, we were having a conversation, and she said to me, whatever your dreams are, you can achieve them. And that may sound really corny or cheesy, but it's so important as a kid, and even as a teenager and as an adult, to have people that believe in you. It's inspirational. It's an inspiration. Yeah, it is. And so
motivation.
That's my biggest inspiration, is my mother. I have a lot of other mentors that I don't know how long this thing's going to be, but people I'd like to name drop. All right, so I got to tell you who these 2 people are in this picture right here, okay? I talked earlier about mentors and having people that help guide you and help you grow. So this is Christy Walker and Emily Williams. And there's a third person that is not in the picture, but her name's Mary Berry. These were my 3 teammates at Long Cane Middle School, and these 3 ladies were like my school mothers. They represent the best in terms of teaching and impacting kids in a school. So they believed in me as a teacher. And that was my first experience in a school as a leader. I became the team leader with these 3 ladies. And so they were very impactful for me. I also want to reference Chip Giles, principal at Long Cane Middle for a long time. Gave me a lot of leadership opportunities and helped me grow on the path towards becoming a leader. Served as a mentor. And of course, Chip Metters, who was the principal at Troop High School for a while, and who is now the assistant superintendent, was very impactful. He had a high level of trust and respect, and for you to get your job done. I try to follow that same philosophy of I'm going to believe in my people and trust them to get the job done. And with that, you want to perform when somebody's got confidence in you. And I think that's how you get the best out of folks. Got to give a shout out to my brother as well. He's been a teacher at Long Cane Middle School for close to 20 years now. He actually started, we taught together at Long Cane for that 10-year period. It was a blessing to be able to teach with him, and I still go to him for advice and conversations on just about everything. So my brother, Matthew Graham, very proud of him and thankful for how he's helped me throughout my career. Now, one person I haven't talked about that I've got to go back to, I mentioned her earlier, my high school sweetheart. So we met in high school, started dating, and we got married before we finished college. You know, we were waiting tables, finishing our degrees at LaGrange College, and she's also an educator. She's a teacher as well. The life of a principal is tough. Any educator is tough, but in administration, you can't do it without support at home, and especially when we have 3 young kids and all the responsibilities, they've got to be fulfilled. And she's been my rock for almost 20 years, married already. And my wife Tiffany is incredible, and I hope everybody has the opportunity to have a life partner like that, one day, because what you can do together is pretty incredible. So she's crucial in that.
So, as you continue your tenure here as principal at Callaway High School, what are your goals for your students?
Goals for all students is to be successful. I want you to have a great experience at Callaway High School, and ultimately cross that finish line and graduate, and then have options. Whether it be you're going to college, 4-year college, might be you're going straight to work. Not everybody wants to go to college or needs to go to college. There are plenty of opportunities to go be successful going straight into the workforce. We're blessed in Troup County to have the resources and the opportunities to be employed and to be successful, to create a life, to create a family, and make an impact right here in Troup County. But I want everybody to be successful. I want you to have options when you leave here. And I want you to look back on your 4 years fondly, because it is a special time. And sometimes it's difficult. Maybe everybody doesn't see it while you're in the moment, but there's a reason why. You hear people look back and say, high school, my high school years were the best years.
Right, yeah.
And so that's what I want for you and every student at Callaway High School.
So this is a question that we ask everybody. We've asked all our guests, to kind of wrap things up. What are your plans after retirement?
After retirement, all right, well, I'm not quite as close as you may think to retirement. I've got a ways to go. So my goal is to beat Mr. Laney, okay? I'm a competitor. He had a 6-year run, so that's my goal, is to beat Mr. Laney. And then I'll still have a few years to go after that before I call it a career as an educator. When I retire, I will continue to work, I'll tell you that. I'll continue to work, continue to try to impact people in some form. I would love to own my own hitting facility where I could continue coaching. Maybe, one day I'll have grandkids and I'll want to help coach them. And I'd love to have a facility. I would love to continue to grow the game of softball for girls in Troup County. But my desire to help people, young people in Troup County will continue. So I'll figure something out, a way to do that. But if I had to bet, it'll have something to do with coaching.
We really appreciate your time. This was a fun interview. I got to learn more about you. Thank you for your time, man.
Hey, I've enjoyed it very much. I've enjoyed getting to know you this year. I've enjoyed getting to know our students throughout the building, and even the entire Callaway community. It's been a great year, and like I said, this is a special place, and it's an honor and a privilege to be here and to be your principal. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's win the day. Be courteous, be capable, be cooperative, and always be Callaway.